Title: A video camera recorded me leaving my house while I was asleep. I don't know where I went. Hey Reddit. I'm not really sure where to put this, so I'll dump it here and see if anyone else has experienced something like it. I'll try to keep the rambling to a minimum, but there's a lot. And I honestly feel sick even typing this out. So, quick backstory. I'm a 32-year-old guy living alone in a small rented house in the Midwest. I've been here for about 8 months. It's nothing special: 2 bedrooms, small yard, creaky wooden floors, the usual. My life is boring as hell in the best way possible. I work remotely as a tech support rep, I have a couple of friends I grab beers with sometimes, and I'm not exactly adventurous. I go to bed around midnight most nights. I wake up at 8. That's it. That's the routine. About 3 weeks ago, my neighbor Dale mentioned something weird. I was grabbing the mail when he walked up and said, "Hey man, you okay? I saw you out at like 3 a.m. the other night." I laughed and said, "No way, I was passed out." But he swore he saw me walking down the street in sweatpants and a hoodie. I figured he was mistaken, maybe it was another guy who looked like me, or he'd been half asleep himself. Dale's a good dude but kind of nosy. I brushed it off. That should have been the end of it. Fast forward to last Monday. I have a cheap little security camera by my front door, one of those motion-triggered Wi-Fi ones you can check from your phone. I got it mostly for package theft paranoia. It's pointed at the porch and part of the front walkway. I hadn't checked the footage in ages, but that day I was expecting a package and wanted to make sure it didn't get swiped. While scrolling through the timeline, I noticed a clip from 2:47 a.m. 2 nights before. The thumbnail froze me. It was me. Not sleepy me grabbing a glass of water, not me putting out the trash. It was me, in the same hoodie and sweatpants Dale had described, stepping out the front door, shutting it quietly, and walking down the driveway toward the street. No bag, no phone in my hand. My eyes. I swear they looked weird. Like I wasn't even blinking. I sat there watching it on repeat. I don't even remember waking up that night, let alone leaving the house. I don't sleepwalk, at least, not that I've ever known. My ex never mentioned anything like that. I thought, okay, maybe I was just restless and wanted some air? But I didn't come back in the footage. There's no clip of me returning. The camera records any motion in its field, so if I walked back in, it should have caught it. The next time it recorded was at 6:12 a.m., when I came out in my usual jeans and t-shirt to get the paper. So where the hell was I between 2:47 and 6:12? The rational part of my brain tried to explain it away. Maybe the motion detection bugged out. Maybe I came back through the back door, though it's always deadbolt from the inside. I checked my phone's GPS history for that night, nothing. No pings. Like I never left the house. I was unsettled but decided not to obsess. Until Wednesday. I woke up that morning feeling wrong. Like I'd been run over. My legs were sore, my feet ached, and there was dirt under my toenails. The weird part? I'd gone to bed wearing socks. My socks were still on, but my feet looked like I'd been walking barefoot. I checked the front camera. 3:11 a.m. There I was again, walking out the door. Different clothes this time, my gray sweatpants, no hoodie, just a t-shirt. The temperature outside was in the 40s. I didn't even shiver in the clip. I walked out into the street and vanished from view. And again, no return footage. That's when I decided to set up the second camera. I had an old webcam and a cheap tripod, so I pointed it inside, aimed right at my bed. I figured if I was actually sleepwalking, I'd see myself get up. Thursday night, I went to bed like normal. I even joked with my friend Jamie over text. Me, if I disappear in the night, you can have my Switch. Jamie, cool, I'll sell it and buy a camera to watch your ghost ass. At around 2:58 a.m., the camera caught me. I didn't wake up like a normal person. I sat bolt upright in bed, stared at the wall for maybe 20 seconds, then swung my legs over the side. My movements were stiff, jerky. I stood there for a bit, just standing, like I was listening to something. Then I walked to the bedroom door and left. That's where the footage ended, because I only had one camera in the bedroom. But when I checked the front door cam, yep. 3:02 a.m., I walked outside. This time, though, I noticed something new. As I stepped off the porch, I turned my head slightly, like someone had called my name. My mouth moved, just a little. Then I kept walking into the darkness. Friday morning, I tore the place apart looking for anything unusual. I checked the locks, windows, even the attic, which I've never been in before, super dusty, nothing up there but insulation. I didn't find anything, but I did notice something in the yard. Near the side gate, there was a patch of dirt that looked disturbed, like someone had dug and refilled a small hole. The soil was darker and looser than the rest. I grabbed a trowel and dug maybe a foot down, nothing but earth. I filled it back in and told myself it was just an animal. Maybe a raccoon. I wanted to believe that. Saturday night, I tried something new. I stayed up late, drinking coffee, determined to catch myself in the act. Around 1:30 a.m., I was still at my desk in the living room, fighting to keep my eyes open. I don't remember falling asleep. When I woke up, it was daylight. I was in my bed. The footage showed me slumped over at my desk, motionless for maybe an hour, and then, without warning, I stood up, walked to the front door, and left. My eyes were open, but they looked glassy. Like I wasn't really seeing anything. I didn't come back until 5:54 a.m. That's the first time I've caught myself returning. I walked in slowly, shut the door without making a sound, and went straight to my bedroom. But I wasn't empty-handed. In my right hand, I was holding something small and metallic. I've been staring at that freeze frame for 2 days now. It's too blurry to make out exactly what it is, but it's shiny and about the size of a lighter. I've checked my pockets, my drawers, every surface in the house, nothing. If I brought something in, I either hid it or got rid of it without waking up. I don't know what's happening to me. I don't know where I'm going at night. But I think something is calling me out there. And I'm starting to be afraid that next time, I won't come back. Title: Update: A video camera recorded me leaving my house while I was asleep. I think I know where I've been going. Hey everyone. So, yeah. I didn't expect my first post to blow up like it did. I got a ridiculous number of comments, DMs, and theories. Everything from, "You're being abducted," to, "You have a rare sleep disorder," to, "Bury that camera and never ask questions again." Some of you even tried enhancing the freeze frame of the object in my hand. A couple people swear it looks like a key. Others think it's a USB stick. Personally, I think both are equally creepy. Anyway, I promised I'd update if anything else happened, and, yeah. Something happened. First, a quick thing, I started sleeping with my bedroom door locked from the inside. I even pushed my dresser in front of it. Not ideal for fire safety, but the idea was to make it physically impossible for me to leave without waking myself up. Sunday night was the first test. I went to bed at midnight. The camera caught me tossing and turning a bit, but otherwise I stayed in bed until morning. No wandering. I actually woke up feeling rested for once. That gave me hope, maybe all I needed was a simple barrier. Then Monday happened. Around 4:30 in the afternoon, I decided to check the cameras just for peace of mind. The night before still looked clean. But as I was scrolling back further than I normally do, I noticed a clip from Saturday night I'd somehow skipped. It wasn't from the front door camera, it was from the backyard motion sensor. Now, the backyard cam almost never records anything unless the wind sets off the branches, because the gate is always closed and I rarely go back there. This clip was at 4:08 a.m., the same night I brought the object inside. It showed me walking across the yard toward the back gate, except my back gate was open. I've never seen it open in the footage before. I walked out without even glancing around, like I'd done it 100 times. In my hand? Definitely the same shiny thing. I checked the timestamp and realized something. This was after I'd come back into the house that morning. Meaning, I must have left again. And the cameras didn't catch me re-entering from the back, so either I stayed out until sunrise or I used a different way in. I decided to do something I probably shouldn't have. I followed my own footprints. The yard was muddy from rain earlier in the week, and although most of it had dried, there were faint impressions leading from the gate to the alley behind my house. I followed them about 10 yards until they veered into a narrow path between two overgrown fences. I've lived here for 8 months and never noticed it before. It's partly hidden by a leaning trash bin. The path ended in a small clearing, maybe 20 feet across, surrounded by thick hedges. And in the middle was another patch of disturbed dirt. My stomach dropped. It was just like the one I'd found near my side gate, only bigger. Like someone, or me, had been digging. I crouched and brushed away some of the looser soil. After maybe a minute, my fingers scraped metal. It was a small tin box, old and rusted shut. I didn't open it out there. I didn't even take it inside. I put it in my shed, locked the shed, and went back to work. I told myself I'd deal with it in daylight when I wasn't alone. Of course, that didn't happen. That night I had the worst dream I can remember. I was standing barefoot in the street outside my house. It was pitch black, no moon, no streetlights. I couldn't see the houses, but I knew mine was behind me. Something was calling my name. Not loudly, more like a whisper directly in my ear. Every time I turned toward the sound, it moved. Always just behind me, just out of reach. And in my dream, I knew exactly where it wanted me to go. Down the street. Past the last house. Into the trees. I woke up drenched in sweat. The cameras showed me thrashing in bed but not getting up. Small mercy, I guess. Tuesday afternoon, I finally opened the tin box in my shed. Inside, wrapped in what looked like an ancient piece of cloth, was a key. Not like a house key. Old-fashioned, heavy, the kind you'd see in a castle door in a movie. The metal was tarnished, and the bow of the key had a strange engraved symbol I didn't recognize, kind of a spiral with lines radiating outward. I stared at it for a long time. The idea that I might have dug this up in my sleep made my skin crawl. Where would I have even known to dig? I put the key back in the box, wrapped it up again, and shoved it onto the top shelf of the shed. Out of sight. That night, I took extra precautions. Bedroom door locked. Dresser against it. I even set up a third camera in the hallway. I wanted a full visual if I somehow got past the barrier. When I checked the footage the next morning, my stomach turned. At 3:14 a.m., the bedroom cam showed me sitting up in bed. I just sat there for about 30 seconds, then I started laughing. Quietly at first, then louder. It wasn't a happy laugh, it sounded wrong, like it was forced out of me. I got out of bed, walked to the door, and, without touching the dresser, opened it. The dresser slid aside on its own, like it was on wheels. I know it's not, because I almost threw my back out moving it into place the night before. Hallway cam caught me walking toward the back door. The door was already open. I didn't even glance at it, I just walked out. I spent the whole day in a fog. I don't remember leaving, but my legs were sore again. My shoes, which I keep by the door, had mud on them. When I checked the shed, the tin box was gone. I tore the place apart looking for it. Nothing. The only new thing I found was a slip of paper tucked under my pillow. It had the same spiral end-line symbol from the key, drawn in pencil. And underneath it, a single word in shaky handwriting. Soon. I don't even know why I'm still in this house. Part of me wants to pack up and go to a hotel tonight. Another part is terrified that whatever's happening will just follow me. Some of you in the last post told me to see a doctor. I called my GP today, explained that sleepwalking and memory gaps. He wants me to do a sleep study next week. I'm not sure I can wait that long. The weirdest part? Last night, right before bed, I thought I heard someone knock on my back gate. Just 3 slow knocks. When I went to check, there was no one there. But the gate was open again. I don't think I'm sleepwalking anymore. I think I'm being led. And I have a bad feeling I'm about to find out where. Title: Final update: a video camera recorded me leaving my house while I was asleep. I know where I've been going, but I wish I didn't. Okay. This will probably be my last post about this. Not because it's over, but because I'm not sure I'll be able to post after tonight. First, I want to say thanks for all the advice, even the stuff that was basically, burn your house down and run. A lot of you said I should get out immediately, and yeah, you were right. But curiosity has its claws in me, and I think it's too late anyway. Since my last update, I've been doing the bare minimum of sleep. Short naps, coffee, pacing around at night like some kind of paranoid raccoon. It's been working, sort of. I haven't left the house in my sleep since that dresser incident. But I have been hearing things. 3 nights ago, around 2 a.m., I heard that same slow knocking on the back gate. Not 3 knocks this time, 5. Steady, deliberate. I stayed on the couch, gripping a kitchen knife like it would actually help. The knocks stopped after a minute. Then I heard the gate's hinges creak. I didn't check until morning. The gate was wide open again. And in the dirt just inside it? That same spiral symbol, scratched into the ground. I swear it hadn't been there the night before. Yesterday afternoon, I made a decision that I guess seals my fate. I was going to follow myself. Here's how: I set up my cameras to live stream to my phone. I put my phone on a portable charger, stuck it in my hoodie pocket, and left the front cam recording at max sensitivity. If I got up in the night, I'd wake up the second I saw the footage of me walking out. In theory. I also put a small Bluetooth tracker on my shoelaces. Not great range, but enough for a few blocks. Last night, I actually fell asleep before midnight. I remember dreaming, but it wasn't anything coherent, just shapes, moving through fog. Then my phone buzzed against my chest. I opened my eyes and saw myself on the front cam feed, walking down the driveway. For a moment I just stared, because the me on the screen wasn't wearing what I'd gone to bed in. I was in dark jeans and a jacket I haven't worn since last winter. My mind kept screaming how? But my body was already moving. I slipped on my sneakers and went after myself. The tracker signal was faint but steady, pulling me down the street, past the last house, and toward the tree line. The night air was freezing, and every step felt like it was pulling me deeper into someplace I shouldn't go. I finally saw him, me, about 30 yards ahead, moving at that same stiff, jerky pace. I called out. Nothing. He didn't slow down or look back. We went into the woods. The further we went, the quieter it got, until the only sound was my own breathing. My flashlight caught glimpses of the path, roots, leaves, damp earth. Then I realized there was a faint glow ahead. The glow was coming from a clearing. The same clearing where I'd found the tin box. But it wasn't empty this time. There were 6 other people standing in a circle, facing inward. Their clothes didn't match, some in pajamas, some in work uniforms, one guy in a full suit. All of them barefoot. And all of them holding keys like mine. In the center of the circle was a shallow pit, maybe 4 feet across. Something metallic glinted at the bottom. My other self walked straight into the circle and took his place without hesitation. None of them spoke. None of them looked at me. I was frozen there, just outside the ring of light. The spiral symbol had been carved into the dirt around the pit, big enough to stand in. The lines radiating outward were deeper now, almost like channels. Then, all at once, they lowered their keys into the pit. The glow brightened, not like fire, not like LEDs, but something wrong. It was light that felt heavy, if that makes any sense. My ears rang. My vision blurred. I swear I heard that whisper again, but it wasn't calling my name this time. It was saying something I didn't understand, over and over. My other self turned his head toward me. His eyes caught the light, and for the first time, I knew exactly what was wrong with them. They weren't reflecting it. They were absorbing it. I ran. I don't even remember the trip back. 1 second I was stumbling through the trees, the next I was in my kitchen, gasping for air. I locked every door, shoved furniture in front of the back gate, killed the lights, and sat there until sunrise. This morning, I checked the cameras. The feed shows me coming back inside at 5:42 a.m., calm as can be, closing the door behind me. I'm holding my shoes in one hand and the tin box in the other. I don't remember bringing it in. But it's sitting on my kitchen table right now. The key is gone. Inside the box is another slip of paper. Same handwriting as before. Same symbol. And one more word underneath. Tonight. I don't think there's anything I can do to stop it. I've thought about leaving town, but I know, deep down, that whatever this is, it isn't about the house. I'm posting this as a kind of failsafe. If I don't post again, maybe someone will know where to look. The clearing is about a quarter-mile into the woods behind Ashgrove Street, through the hidden path by the leaning trash bin. You'll see the spiral in the dirt. I'm going to stay awake as long as I can tonight. But if you see me out there, don't follow. Because I think the me you'll see isn't really me anymore. End of story.